Let's first start off this list with Doggo. Doggo is a member of the Royal Guard. If we look at his stats, he has 70 HP, which is pretty low. He could die in 3 or 4 hits. He has 3 attack, which is also very low. If you equip the highest armor in the game, he wouldn't even be able to deal 1 damage against you. However, despite his low attack and the way he's dressed, he has 7 defense, which is the second highest of all the members of the Royal Guards. Whether his stats are high or not is not the reason why he's the lowest on this list. It's because he's blind. This guy uses 2 daggers and can only see his enemy if he is moving. Which means if Sass just went and just accidentally activated his Gaster Blaster and blasted Doggo into fucking oblivion, Doggo would just not even notice it. And that's why Doggo goes into the D tier. The next monsters are all members of the Royal Guard. They aren't particularly special or extraordinarily strong, but they are, in this particular order, stronger than the other monsters on this list. The lesser dog is just a lesser version of the other dogs. He uses 2 different attacks at the same time that show that he has a little bit of intelligence. He has also gone where no other dog has gone before. Therefore, I'm gonna put lesser dog in the D tier with Doggo, but 1 spot above him. Next up we have Doji, and this is a duo character. They are also, like the other dogs, members of the Royal Guards. They have coordinated attacks which are pretty strong. Like Doggo, they are also fucking blind. Therefore, I'm gonna put them into the D tier. It's the greater dog. The greater dog is basically a better version of the lesser dog. He can combine different types of attacks in 1 attack, which makes him pretty strong. He can also magically control his armor, which indicates that he has some sort of power. Because of his strength, but his harmlessness, I'm gonna put him in the D tier next to the other Royal Guards. The Royal Guard boasts the highest attack stats of all the other Royal Guards in the game. They use coordinated attacks, however they aren't the most intelligent ones either. But they love each other. And that's why they fucking died. And that concludes the D tier. Let's move on to the C tier. This is a tier where monsters start to become less actual dog shit. The thing with Mad Dummy is that he is incorporeal, meaning that he cannot take any damage. His stats are so good for someone in C tier that his defense is even labeled as yes. Next we have Napsabluk, who is basically a better version of Mad Dummy, and this is because he has the ability to purposely lower his HP. That is good enough reason to put him above Mad Dummy. Okay, from this point onward, the monsters are actually fucking terrifying and strong. Let's talk about the Amalgamates. Alphys injected liquid determination into these monsters, what resulted in them amalgamating into 1 monster. These monsters have 9,999 defense and cannot be killed, meaning they have invulnerability. They have strong attacks, unique attacks, and attacks that are hard to dodge. Not to mention they are fucking terrifying. They all have the same amount of strength, so I'm not gonna order them on the list. Now that we got all the extras out of the way, we can move on to the bosses. Let's first start off with Mettaton in his box form. Psych! Let's talk about Muffin instead. The spider mother. Muffin is a unique monster. She's able to change your soul mode. By changing your soul mode, she makes you maneuver through 3 lines, which are probably spider webs. She herself doesn't really have any offensive attacks. Her spiders do most of all the work. However, her stats, soul changing ability, and her being the spider mother grants her a spot on the A tier. Now we have the 3 Mettatons: Mettaton box form, EX, and Neo. The more Mettaton evolves, the stronger his attack becomes, but vice versa, his defense decreases. In his base form, he's literally invulnerable to any type of damage. In his EX form, however, his attack gradually increases, but now he can finally take damage from us. And his Neo form is literally designed to one-shot his enemies, hence his attack stat is the 4th highest in the game. With all this information, this is the ranking I'm gonna go with. Finally, things are starting to get more interesting. This is the S tier. In the S tier, the heroine that never fucking gives up. Undyne! Sorry, I got overly enthusiastic at the sight of Undyne. Undyne is the current captain of the Royal Guard and has many different abilities. First of all, she can materialize spears out of nothing. Second of all, she just refuses to fucking die after she dies. Third of all, she suplexes herself just to prove that nothing is impossible. Because of all these impressive stats, she's gonna get her own place at the S tier. The SS tier is reserved for monsters with reality-bending abilities. Monsters who are straight up able to cheat to win the battle. Omega Flowey has many different abilities. First of all, he's a literal fake god. After absorbing the 6 human souls, he gained abilities that none can even comprehend. He is also able to load and reload save files. He is able to use all kinds of attacks, including dropping nukes. He does a lot of damage and can take a lot of damage. However, despite all this power, there has been a single skeleton who made Flowey's life hell every time. It is expected and deserved that the final boss of one of the 3 routes is so high on this list. Sans is the final boss and the heroic antagonist in the Genocide route. His battle is considered to be one of the hardest in the game. And there are so many different reasons for this. Let's look at his stats. He has 1 HP but he dodges every single attack. He has 1 attack but he ignores your invisibility frames, meaning he deals 1 damage every single frame. He has 1 defense, but he doesn't care and ignores your defense as well, converting all damage into karma. Basically what this means is your attack and defense doesn't mean shit when you're fighting Sans. Despite all of this, he even attacks first with his strongest attack. He can use telekinesis, he's able to control gravity, he also changes your soul mode. He is not a sentry for no reason. He probably was able to blast every single fucking human into oblivion the moment they exited the ruins. Sans is also able to teleport, is aware of resets, and is the reason why Flowey's save file is 9,999 hours long. However, there is a second skeleton brother. Let's talk about Papyrus for a bit. Papyrus is the older brother of Sans. While he is extremely kind-hearted and wouldn't hurt a single fly, this motherfucker is stronger than you think. You see, he, together with the king, are the only characters who can control their magic so much that they can bring you to 1 HP without killing you. According to Undyne, he's pretty freaking tough. And on top of that, Sans looks up to him. Is it because he's stronger than him? On the topic of Sans, like him, Papyrus is also able to change your soul. He holds back so much because he is such a kind soul. He even has a special attack of the end of the fight that he couldn't use, and that's implied to be a Gaster Blaster, just like the Gaster Blaster Sans is using. Therefore, I'm gonna put Papyrus above Sans. Sans is strong, yes, but we've never ever seen Papyrus even going remotely all out. We are at the final tier, the SSS tier. Only the strongest of monsters will be able to enter this tier. And both those spots go to Toriel and Asgore, the king and queen of monsters. They are both boss monsters, meaning their souls can persist for a bit after death. They have extremely powerful and precise fire attacks. But that's all the explanation needed for Toriel. Her ridiculous firepower is enough reason for her to be granted a spot at the SSS tier. So let's talk about Asgore instead. He is the king of all monsters and the strongest monster in the underground. During the war, he fought against countless humans and yet still lived. He also fought and won against 6 humans. And for the record, a human soul is equivalent to nearly every monster soul in the underground. Like Papyrus, he has enough control over his magic to bring you to 1 HP and not kill you instantly. Asgore is able to break your mercy button. He fights without even looking at you. Every attack you inflict on him, it doesn't even make him flinch. His attacks are all over the place, but because he is so strong, it still fills up the entire bullet board. He doesn't even die instantly after getting hit by Kara. This basically concludes this list. 99 attack, 99 defense. The heroine reformed by her own determination to save Earth. Undyne the Undying, the strongest monster in the underground. You're so strong that you one-shot almost every single monster in the underground. However, Undyne took such blows multiple times during her battle. Imagine being so strong that you straight up refuse to die. Oh, and let's not forget Asriel, who's a literal fucking god. Well, this is the list. Thanks for watching, I guess.